The human-dog relationship is the longest standing human-animal relationship in history. You can go back to caves in 5,000 years ago where cave people lived, and you can see cave drawings with dogs in the cave drawing. They've actually grown new muscles in their face that give them more expressions. They have more facial expressions than any other animal does. They've actually morphed their body into being closer to us. They also show us the whites of their eyes, which is the only animal that does that. When we see the whites of each other's eyes, we feel more comforted as human beings. Dogs have learned to turn their eyes in such a way to show us the whites of their eyes, and it's almost a subconscious tactic. They approach their relationship with us as friendship, and that has allowed us to become closer to them. No other animal really does that, and no one connects with us in the way our dog connects with us. Well, first of all, congratulations. You're the first class ever that's all been here at 10 o'clock on the nose. So I have high hopes for you. This is an optimistic start. And we don't have any chaos going on right now. Usually the first class, we have a lot of chaos going on. So I'm very excited about that. I want to start by saying thanks for taking this time. This is an investment that you're making in a long-term relationship with your partner here. I've had a chance to talk to you each individually, so I know kind of how you live with your dog, what happens, behind your door, where the dog sleeps, what the dog eats, things like that, which is all important to me to get a baseline of understanding. I don't think any of us got a manual with our dog or had a professional trainer at our house when we had dogs as kids or dogs as young adults or now dogs as adults. We just kind of learned to do what we do with our dog. And what I'm going to encourage us to do over the next 6 weeks is change the way we think about our dog and change the way we behave around our dog in order to get more out of our dog. Crux of this class is to teach another species to pay attention to us. And that's something that I underestimated, like when I've had dogs all my life and they've been my friends. But they are another species. They're a predator. If we took any of your dogs and put them in the backyard and left them there for a week, they would figure out how to hunt by themselves, eat by themselves, they would be self-sufficient. But when we get our dog, the first thing we think about is like, what are we going to feed them and where are they going to sleep? Like, we take care of them like a human being. We've got to teach them to pay attention to us as their alpha. And the way that we accomplish that is, or the way we measure that, is we have a concept called distance and duration. And dog training kind of in a nutshell is about distance and duration. How far away can I be from my dog for how long and still have control of my dog? I was in business for a lot of years. You always had measurements like sales or profits or new counts or one. Well, with dogs, the metric is how far away can I be and for how long can I be that far away with the dog under control. That tells us if we're winning or we're not winning with dogs. Those two are great. They're going to be best friends. Often with our dogs, it feels like we're in an airplane with a crying baby, right? And we're trapped. If you have those kind of things and those feelings about your dogs, I want you to know I really have been there, and it gets a lot better. But the way it gets a lot better is we have to understand who we're working with here, which is another species. If it was a squirrel or a goldfish, it'd be easier for us to accept. But this person sleeps in our bed, right? They kiss us on the face. They hug us when we're crying. They are happy when we're happy. They're our best friend. And so having to have a relationship with this best friend who's also another species is very complex. The human-dog relationship is the longest standing human-animal relationship in history. You can go back to caves in 5,000 years ago where cave people lived, and you can see cave drawings with dogs in the cave drawing. We track dogs back about 5,000 years. They've been a part of our society, and they've actually modified themselves to be even closer to us. They've actually grown new muscles in their face that give them more expressions. They have more facial expressions than any other animal does. A chimpanzee has 13 or 14 facial expressions. Dogs have about 20. We have about 30. So they're closer to us. They've actually morphed their body into being closer to us. They also show us the whites of their eyes, which is the only animal that does that. When we see the whites of each other's eyes, we feel more comforted as human beings. Dogs have learned to turn their eyes in such a way to show us the whites of their eyes, and it's almost a subconscious tactic. Because dogs have this, the reason dogs have been so successful with people for 5,000 years is because they've employed what some scientists have called the friendly tactic. They approach their relationship with us as friendship, and that has allowed us to become closer to them. No other animal really does that, and no one connects with us in the way our dog connects with us. They want to be with us, and you see it with tails wagging, mouth open, paying attention to you, and they have succeeded through this idea of friendliness. Now, in today's environment where we're all watching the news during the day, don't you wish that humans had this tactic of friendliness? We would be much more successful. They've been successful because they've been very friendly. Like I said at the beginning, we bring our human stuff to dog training or with our relationship with our dog. We have to start to think about, in order to be successful, we have to start thinking about the dog reporting to us all the time. If you took your kid to Camp Pendleton and said, "You're a Marine now," they would shave their head, they would teach them how to walk and eat and march and sleep and when to go places and where to go places. That's what we're doing with our dog. We're not going to be harsh about it, but we're going to go back to this, you don't know anything, I'm going to teach you everything. We have to teach ourselves to mark the behavior of our dog when they do things that we like so that we can communicate with them.